Hi people, we're here with High Tech Low Life and Haraj Café in Liège, Belgium. Second part of the interview. Can you give some short impression of the tour so far? So we had some feedback already from Bubble Cafe. Maybe some impressions of yesterday in the Holland in the festival.
Thank you. Yesterday we played at an event called Abunaikon. It's an anime convention, and the theme this year was cyberpunk. The subtitle for the event was High Tech Low Life. So for us, it was an amazing experience to be able to play at a festival with that name. It felt like destiny that we would play there.
Thank you. Most people don't know you here in Europe, I suppose. So can you give some short biography of the band? So also tell which band you were in before, the most important members, other projects maybe.
We're a band from the year 2069. We came to deliver a message. We have to warn of the dystopian futures that are happening, and we all come from different timelines. So when you see our show, you actually learn the story and the message we have to bring to the people from the future.
Thank you. Next up, can you give some influences of the band? So other bands that have some similarity or maybe less similarity in music style. Also some indirect influences, maybe like movies or mangas or something else.
Bands that I listened to when I was younger that influenced me would be bands like Nine Inch Nails or Prodigy that influenced me into the kind of industrial sounds, and more recently, I guess, a lot of synthwave and retrowave music that reminds me of how things were when I was a kid. Those kind of sounds that were really coming, that are kind of coming back again.
Well, for me, now I'm a huge techno head, so I listen to a lot of European labels, underground parties. But growing up, I was more into the gothic industrial EBM music, which has a huge influence in what I do with the part of the band.
Thank you. Also concerning the band, can you give some explanation of the band name? Who chose the band name? Why you chose it? What's the meaning about it? So maybe you hopefully explained it already introducing the band, but more to the name itself. What's the meaning?
We chose the name High Tech Low Life because it really gives us a description of the kind of lives that we're living. It seems that we have higher and higher levels of technology available to us that can do so much for us, but it hasn't improved the quality of our actual life. It seems like because we're getting so much satisfaction or so much dopamine just from the technology that we use, that the rest of our lives just kind of fall apart.
Thank you. Now the longest question going to everybody of you. Suppose you're on a desert island, you can only listen to 3 CDs, 3 vinyls, you don't have internet, no radio, no television. Which albums you gonna listen to? So 3 albums per person. Maybe people might forget who you are, maybe people didn't see you yet in interviews. Tell maybe also your function in the band. So first name, instrument, and maybe also add if you're a songwriter or not. So, and your 3 favorite albums. Maybe you can give us some translation.
I'm Tony Drew. I'm the guitarist and the producer of the band. If I was stranded on a desert island and I could only have 3 albums, it would be Nine Inch Nails' The Fragile, a James Taylor Greatest Hits collection, and Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
ですか何ですかね。カンフリ砂漠にアルバム持っていけるとしたら誰の何を持っていきますか？
スリップノットとアルバムでしょ。ブリーディングスルーとアブル・ラビン。
そこ全然思いつかないんだけど。美佐子です。ボーカルです。I don't know, I can just Amy Winehouse, Back to Black. That's enough to me.
Just 3 copies in case.
My name is Mikey. I am the operator for the band. If I had 3 albums, one would be Europop by Eiffel 65. Another one would be Fuck Off and Die by Alien Vampires. And the other one would be Mezzanine by Massive Attack. It's a pretty good album.
なんだろうね。ああ、岩尾です。ドラムです。さだまさしでしょ。ハイテクでしょ。あとジブリオーケストラ版かな。マジ？誰が？
誰が言ったっけ？ベース。
マジか。ウケる。めっちゃ日本人。
This is a difficult. I'm Remy. I do vocals. This is a difficult question because, not just because it's difficult to pick, but because since I really started getting into music, I was already downloading MP3s, so I didn't get into albums so much. So listening to albums kind of takes me back to even before high school, to when I was in elementary school. I think the only albums I ever owned was Weird Al. Which one was it? Which was the one I had? Which was the one I had? Not Eat It. I'm gonna take the Weird Al Polka album. I think he did an album. It was all of his polka songs, because right, every single album he made, he always had a polka song in there. There was a medley of pop songs done in a polka. I'm gonna take the album that has all those songs on it. And what was another one I had? I think I had a Savage Garden CD, so I'll take that one. It was their self-titled album, Savage Garden. And also another one I had was Our Lady Peace, which is a Canadian band, and the album, I think the album was Clumsy. The song was also Clumsy, but I think the album was also called Clumsy. Was that? Do you remember? Possibly. Something sounds like. I think it's Clumsy is the one that Clumsy the song was on. Yep. So older choices, but they're solid. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys for giving us this interview. Have a great show tonight at Garage Cafe. And maybe give the people some horns and some shout out of your band. So go ahead.
High Tech Low Life! High Tech Low Life! High Tech Low Life!